She's in the little box.
Yeah, we can't see you when we put it on speaker.
Oh.
Speaker view. Now we see you.
Ah, see? Now you're in a bigger box.
Give me just a second.
You want water?
Okay. What was that? Gosh, I sure hope so. That's probably just because I forget. So let's do it. Yes. Okay. Good. All right. So here we are. Welcome, everyone. Shabbat Shalom. If you're in the New York area, it is thunderstormy. If you are somewhere else or sometime else, because, maybe you're watching this on YouTube at some later point, I hope the weather is nice when you are. I'd like to invite everybody to just take a moment. Maybe the thunderstorm is exciting, maybe it's unsettling. Maybe there's other things that are on your mind from the week. To just take a moment to make some space for Shabbat rest, perhaps Shabbat delight. Whatever you need to do. We are going to begin our service on page 124. And just as a reminder that wherever we are is a sanctuary, wherever we are is a holy space. And so when we speak of entering this sanctuary, it means not only this physical sanctuary of the synagogue, but the sanctuary of wherever you are joining this service from. We enter this sanctuary to welcome Shabbat. Within these walls, we sit surrounded by numberless generations. Our ancestors built synagogues as a visible sign of God's presence in their midst. Throughout our long history and our endless wanderings, it has endured, a beacon of truth, love, and justice for all humanity. Its presence guided our ancestors to live lives of righteousness, holding up to them a vision of their truest selves. Now we, in our turn, come into this sanctuary to affirm the sacredness of our lives. May we enter this place in peace. May holiness wrap around us as we cross its threshold. Weariness, doubt, the flaws within our human hearts, the harshness of the weak, let these drop away at the door. In the brightness of Shabbat, let peace settle upon us as we lift our hearts in prayer. The candle blessings are on page 120 and 121, and it's my pleasure to invite Janice Isa to the Bima.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our day be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'hadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen.
Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Amen. Thank you. We turn now to the Kiddush on page 123, and it's my pleasure to invite Michael Rose to the Bima to read the Kiddush in English in all of his wetness. Yes, he's wet. He got caught in the rain.
Praise to you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, creator of the fruit of the vine. Praise to you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who, finding favor with us, sanctified us with mitzvot. In love and favor, you made the holy Shabbat our heritage as a reminder of the work of creation. As first among our sacred days, it recalls the exodus from Egypt. You chose us and set us apart from the peoples. In love and favor, you have given us your holy Shabbat as an inheritance. Praise to you, Adonai, who sanctifies Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai, mikadesh ha-Shabbat.
If you're able, I invite you to rise.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kirshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu. Shabbat kodsho b'ahava v'ratzon inhilanu, zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit, ki hu yom tehila lemikrai kodesh, zeichel yetziat Mitzrayim. Kivanu v'chata, yotanu kidashta, mikol ha'amim. Shabbat kodshecha, be'ahava v'ratzon, hinachaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai, mikadesh ha-Shabbat. Amen.
You may be seated. Yasher koach. We turn to page 142 in the blue bracketed numbers to greet the angels of Shabbat with Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Hasharet, Malachi Elyon, Melech Malachi HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Boachem L'Shalom, Malachi HaShalom, Malachi Elyon, Melech Malachi HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Boachini L'Shalom, Malachi HaShalom, Malachi Elyon, Melech Malachi HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seitechem L'Shalom, Malachi HaShalom, Malachi Elyon, Melech Malachi HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Page 145 is Lamdeni.
Lamdini Elohai, ברך והתפלל, על סודה לקנל, על נוגה פרי בשל, אך החירות הזאת, לראות, לחוש, לנשום, לדעת, לחכה להיכשל, לראות, לחוש, לנשום, לדעת, לייחל להיכשל, למד את שפתותיי, ברכה ושיר הלל, והתחדש זמנך עם בוקר ועם ליל, לבל יהיה יומי היום כתמול שלשום, ובל יהיה עליי יומי הרגעי, לבל יהיה עליי יומי הרגעי, לראות, לחוש, לנשום, לדעת, לייחל להיכשל, לראות, לחוש, לנשום, לדעת, לייחל להיכשל.
The Baruch Hu is on page 146. If you're able, I invite you to rise. You may be seated. On page 148, I invite you to read with me. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness, darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tsevaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening. Baruch atah Adonai, Hama'ariv Aravim. Page 150.
אהבת עולם בית ישראל, עמך אהבת, תורה ומצוות מצוות חוקים ומשפטים אותנו לימדת. על כן אדוני אלוהינו בשוכבנו וקומנו נשיח בחוקיך ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם לעולם ועד. כי הם חיינו באורך ימינו ובהם נהגי יומם בלילה ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים לעולמים. אהבת עולם בית ישראל עמך אהבת, תורה ומצוות חוקים ומשפטים אותנו לימדת. ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל, אוהב עמו ישראל.
The Shema is on page 152. If you're able, I invite you to rise.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed.
You may be seated.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברתם בשבתך, בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בעיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Adonai Elohechem Emet. On page 157, I invite you to read with me. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. Page 158.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהיגה בקודש, דורות תהילות אוסף אלה, דורות תהילות אוסף ספלה, מלכותך ראו בניך, חוקי הים לפני משה ומרים, צאלי, ענו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך, לעולם ועד, יאי לי לי
Hashkivenu, page 160.
Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom, B'hamidenu shomereinu lechayim, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, u'shemot tzidkenu voheinu, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, u'shemot tzidkenu voheinu. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom, B'hamidenu shomereinu lechayim. Baruch atah Adonai haporei sukkot shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim. Amen.
Page 162.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם, לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם לעולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם, לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי, וביום השביעי שבת, שמיים נפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם, לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית
The tefillah begins on page 164. If you're able, I invite you to rise.
Adonai, Sefatai Tiftach, Ufi Yagi Tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohe Avotenu ve'Imoteinu, Elohe Avraham, Elohe Yitzchak, Elohe Yaakov, Elohe Sarah, Elohe Rivka, Elohe Rachel, Elohe Leah. Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor ve'Hanra, Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim ve'Konei Hakol. וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר, ומושיע ומגן. ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם, בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, מוריד אתה. מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומידה מלך, מלך ממית ומחיי ומצביח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש וקדושים בכל יום יהללו הסלע. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
You may be seated. Page 173, I invite you to read with me. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day, and may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. Page 175. You are with us in our prayer, our love, and our doubt, in our longing to feel your presence and do your will. You are the still, clear voice within us. Therefore, O God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble, when pain clouds the mind, we look inward for the answer to our prayers. There may we find you, and there find courage, insight, and endurance. And let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may find new strength for your service. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otcha levadcha b'yir'ah na'avod. We have come to Modim, our blessing of gratitude. It is on page 176. But first, I'd like to invite you to share anything you're feeling grateful for today. So on Zoom, you're welcome to share in the chat, and everyone is welcome to share out loud. So who is feeling grateful for something? Freema. Freema?
I am grateful that this week is over. It has been a horrible week. And if I hear one more person sick or dying, I think I'm just going to put my fist through the wall. Thank you. Sorry about that, but that's.
Well, Modim Anachnu Lach, we are grateful that the week is over. Amen. Linda Kushner.
I'm really grateful. I spent an afternoon with my 97-year-old friend. She's a Holocaust survivor and she can see and she can walk and incredible. Gave such hope. It was fabulous. And in this teeming rain, I saw a little boy with his mother and sister dancing in the street in the puddles. It brought me so much fun to watch them. I loved it.
I'm into that, to dancing in puddles. Luke. Okay, Luke is grateful because this week he had a date with someone. All right. Let's see. Susan Sisler is grateful for her continued healing and the love of family and friends. Julia Burke is also glad that the week is over, and also grateful for rain. Amen. Charlotte is grateful that she is dry and inside. Amen. Patricia was grateful to see everyone at the luncheon and Rabbi Heidi being honored. I am also grateful for the luncheon, which was just absolutely wonderful and so much fun. And I'm grateful that my family came, and it was just really lovely. Karen is grateful for the summer season, which is her favorite. Anybody else? Nathan. Oh, great. Nathan is grateful for a good report from the neurologist, and the MRI came back positive. He does, in fact, have a brain. That's what he said. Modim Anachnu Lach for having a brain. Anybody else feeling grateful? Alan. Woo! So Alan had terrible laryngitis a couple of weeks ago, and he's grateful that he was able to MC in a very professional manner our luncheon last Sunday, and also on Monday was able to get through being the public address announcer at Yankee Stadium for the city high school baseball finals. That's exciting.
Modim Anachnu Lach. Modim Anachnu Lach. We thank you, O God, for the precious gift of life, wonder beyond words. The awareness of our hearts, our soul's eternal flame, the whole world with richness filled, beauty without and within. Modim Anachnu Lach, we thank you, O God, for the precious gift of life, wonder beyond words. Adonai, your love abounds, your kindness never ends. May we walk in all your ways, by your love embraced. For all these gifts and more, Baruch El Ha'odaot. Modim anachnu lach. We thank you, O God, for the precious gift of life, wonder beyond words, wonder beyond words.
We turn to Shalom Rav, our prayer for peace, on page 178.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki ata hu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Ki ata hu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. V'tov v'necha levarech et amcha Yisrael b'chol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Tasim leolam. Tasim leolam.
Baruch atah Adonai hamivarech et amo Yisrael b'shalom. We've come now to our quiet prayer. There are words in the prayer book on pages 180 and 181. There are words on the screen, if you can see the screen. But of course, we can always use the words that are in our own hearts. We continue quietly.
יהיו לרצון אמרי פי וגיון ליבי לפניך. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my rock and my redeemer.
keep in mind those who continue to be captive in Gaza. Achenu, our prayer for captives, is on the screen. For all our family of the house of Israel, fellow Jews and non-Jews who face anguish and captivity, whether on sea or on land, may the divine have compassion upon them and bring them from distress to relief, from darkness to light, from subjugation to redemption, now, speedily, soon, and let us say, Amen. And a Shabbat blessing for Israel and for Gaza. May you somehow feel blessing piercing through. May protection find you whether or not those in charge are keeping you safe. May you surprise yourself by seeing God's face occasionally shining through to you on the face of the other. May you feel the startling, comforting grace of God's presence in the most unlikely times. May your head, bowed in sadness, fear, despair, anger, be lifted up to see a different future. May you envision yourself as a possible agent of an impossible peace worth fighting for. May you live. May you be and see God's image. May the unthinkable never be thinkable. May the impossible become possible. Ken Yehi Ratzon. May it be so, and let us say, Amen. We turn our thoughts now to those among us and those in our hearts who are ill and who are in need of healing of body, of mind, or of spirit. Our Misha Berach is on page 371. Those on Zoom are welcome to put names in the chat of anyone for whom you're praying for healing. Also, everyone will have an opportunity to add names out loud. We hold in our thoughts and in our hearts for healing this evening Allison Plummer, Rabbi Dara Lerner, Susan Sisler, Jody Siegelstein, Isaac Hockman, Lennon Safe, Joellen Fox, Sarah Bard Ratliff, Kenny Schweiger, Paul Gold, Deanna Roth, Gina Marie Cortez, Janet Schlesinger, Jonathan Falkowski, Martha Vincent, Ingrid Grosso, Eddie DeAngelis, Vicki Lightnaker, Nettie Trommer, Mia Gannon, Jeff Abel, Freya Kashmir, Delphine Wolf, Liz Yasida, Mark and Paul Steiner, Celia Karp, Anne-Marie Rogan, Marion Mandel, Sharon Zinn, Nicole Moskowitz, Stephen Belay, Patty Cohen, Daniel Silverman, Sarah West, Ethel Gold, Harold Keston, Barbara Hopard, Mike Wenzelberg, Augusto Zapato, Shirley Hunter Pinsky, Helene Smith, Joanne Davis, Karen Siegel, Bobby Narado, Joanne Sorgan, Dawn Sorgan, Francine Benjamin, Angela Contolios, Jessica Pasqualone, Daryl Lewis, Julie Dushin, Maria Dela Cruz Bautista, Anna Germosin Terre, Jean Guskin, Ewald De Freitas, Lou Anna Walters, and Barbara Hopard. Augustine Davis, Damian Colon, Jerome Taylor, Ed Robinson, Joanna Marie, Teresa O'Sullivan, Jimmy Jenkins, Chanel Kamabach, Julette Dale, Maureen Dale, Elena Aram, Warren Feliz, Sylvia Solva, DeAndre Wynn, Jennifer Magoob, Tamia Bethia Williams, Della Holder, John Holder, Vanessa Johnson, Anita Jones, Jeanette Walton, Robert Walton, Bria DeRosa, Raymond Quick, Stacy and David Mauser, Hannah Paynes, Bill Zolan, Steve Levinson, Tracy Strumpf, Andrew Steinhaus, the family of Luis Zamora, Pat Flood, Dina Cure, Cindy Rabinowitz, Claude Smith, Angela Napoli, Kathy Sunby, Martine Narcisse, Judith and Robert Coors, Harriet Green, Harriet Holtzman, Renee Bash, Ernest Tornin Casa, Helen Samuels, Batya Unger. Frima?
Arlene Schneier, Neil Klein, Martin Bennett, Debbie Kelly, Phyllis O'Neill, Kathy's brother Gabby, Richard Gordon, Richard Kurlander, Diana Gonzalez, Hassan and Nancy Demir, Elliot Drucker, Ellie Ferry, and Charlie DeRimos. Thank you.
Linda Kushner? Linda, you're muted.
Sorry. Carol and Stevie Doppel, David Gershon, Mort Kessler, Phyllis and Lori Benjamin, Janet Brandt, Sherry Jacobs, Lenny Deutsch, myself. Thank you.
Anyone else on Zoom? If you're in the room and have names to add, please rise or raise your hand. Janice? Alan? Luke? We include also all of those who have been hurt in wars and conflicts around the world, including in Israel and Gaza, in Ukraine, Sudan, Afghanistan, Syria, Haiti, and so many other places. We include also those who have been hurt in recent natural disasters or through gun violence. Page 371 in the middle of the page.
מי שברך אבותינו מקור הברכה לאמותינו. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. מי שברך אמותינו מקור הברכה לאבותינו. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. It's good to be here with you in the dry. I think it has stopped raining by now. This week, we celebrated Shavuot, and I thought we would talk about that for a little while this evening. Shavuot is one of the three major pilgrimage festivals when everyone would go trooping to Jerusalem to make sacrifices and have a feast with friends and family. It's the one that is probably the least well-known and well-celebrated here today in this country, partly because there are really no rituals that are associated with it in the Torah. For Sukkot, we are told, take, the lulav and the etrog. It doesn't tell us to shake them. That was added later. But it tells us to collect them for sure and to build a little house in the backyard, a temporary house, and to dwell in it. We're told to do that. At Passover, the Seder is not in the Torah, but it says don't eat only unleavened bread for a week and perform the Pesach sacrifice, which of course we don't do anymore. But for Shavuot, nothing. So there is a custom of eating dairy food. Nobody knows why. Although many Ashkenazi Jews tend to be lactose intolerant, so not everybody appreciates that custom. There's also a custom of staying up all night studying. And what the rabbi said is that this is the festival of the receiving of Torah at Mount Sinai. But it's really not at all clear what that means. What was received at Mount Sinai, after all? We are told that God told the whole Torah to Moses, and Moses wrote it all down. We are told that Moses came down from the mountain with 2 tablets. There's a picture of them over there on the window, where apparently he can hold 2 stone tablets with his fingertips. What's on the 2 stone tablets? The 10 Commandments, right? So is that what was received at Mount Sinai? Maybe. It's very hard to know. It's hard to say. But something that does really stand out to us is the 10 Commandments. But what makes the 10 Commandments special? We have 613 commandments, depending on how you count. But the 10 Commandments stand out. They're not numbered. And in fact, Jews, Protestant Christians, and Catholic Christians disagree on which ones are which of the 10, which one is the first one, which one is the 8th one, that sort of thing. And some people say that they're derivative, that they're very similar to the Code of Hammurabi, which came before them. And so they're derivative of that. But there is a difference between the 10 Commandments and other commandments that appear in the Hebrew Bible and the Code of Hammurabi. And that is that they have nothing to do with consequences. They don't give consequences. So one example, do not steal. Elsewhere in the Torah, it tells you, if you steal this, you have to do this. If you steal that, you have to do that, and so on and so forth. But in the 10 Commandments, it just says, do not steal. And Dr. Joel Hoffman, who wrote this book called And God Said, he's a translator of Torah, he suggests that what makes the 10 Commandments different is that they are not a legal code, they're a moral code. They're telling you what is right and wrong, regardless of the consequences. And he gives an example of Logan Airport in Boston some time ago, where if you parked illegally, your car would be towed and you would get a fine. But if you paid to park your car, that cost more than paying for the towing and the fine. And so people would just park illegally, have their cars get towed and get the fine, and no harm, no foul, right? I mean, in fact, people do this on the streets of Brooklyn as well. If you're flying somewhere, it's sometimes cheaper to leave your car parked on the street, violate alternate side parking, get a ticket, and then when you come home after a week or whatever, you pay your ticket. It's cheaper than paying to park your car somewhere else. Is it immoral to do that? What? It's not good? Okay, so it's immoral, maybe. A lot of people don't think it is. A lot of people make a cost-benefit analysis, and they figure that that's to their benefit to do. It's cheaper. And, who did you hurt? The streets stayed a little dirtier, I guess. You could also say it's a hazard and all of that. But when the Torah says in the 10 Commandments, do not steal, it's not saying do not steal because if you do, here is the punishment that you will receive. It's just saying, even if there's no punishment, even if you can get away with it, stealing is wrong. It's just wrong. Don't do it. And the whole 10 Commandments is like that. I think that we sometimes think of our tradition as an ethical one, and we don't necessarily talk that much about morality. But morality is in there too, and ideas of right and wrong. And the 10 Commandments is something that Judaism brings that is a little bit different from legal codes that pre-existed it and also are contained also in the Torah, in that it is more of a moral code. And so may we take the morality of Judaism with us out into the world so that we can be determined to do right, to do what is right, even when there are no consequences for doing what is wrong. Amen. Shabbat Shalom.
Sadiq Katamar, that's Psalm 92, often associated with Shavuos. And it's in our book on page 659, but just the first line of it that says, "The righteous bloom like a date palm, they thrive like a cedar in Lebanon." And goes on, "Planted in the house of the Lord, they shall flourish in the courts of our God. They shall still bring forth fruit, even in old age. They shall be fresh and full of sap, to declare that the rock is upright. He is my rock, God is my rock, in whom there is no unrighteousness." This is a setting by a composer named Rick Recht. Sadiq Katamar Yifrach Ke'erez Balvanon Yisgeh Shetulim David Adonai B'chatzrot Eloheinu Yafrichu Od Yinovun Seva Deshenim Beranaim Yiyu Lehagid Ki Hashem Adonai Tzuri Velo Arlatabo Yadadai 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 Dai Dai Yadadai Yadadai Dai Yadadai Dai Dai Yadadai Yadadai Yadai Dai Dai Yadadai Yadadai Dai Yadadai Dai Dai Dai.
We turn to the Aleinu. It begins on page 586. If you're able, I invite you to rise.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'Adon hakol, latit gedula liutzei breshit, shehu notei shamayim v'yoser aretz, u'moshav yekaro b'shamayim imahal, u'shchinat uzo begovei meromim, Eloheinu ein od, v'anachnu koreim u'mishtachavim u'modim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu v'ne'emar v'haya Adonai למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
You may be seated. We turn our thoughts now to those who are no longer with us, our loved ones who have died in the past days or weeks or months, or in past years at this time of the year. I'm sharing our yard site list for the coming week to the screen. Those of you here in person have that same list in your goldenrod bulletin. If you're on Zoom and have names of anyone for whom you're saying the mourner's Kaddish this evening, you are welcome to put them in the chat, but also everyone will have an opportunity to add names out loud. We remember those who have died in the past year. Dr. Stephen Antipol, Lester Futternick, Kamal Burai, Warren Sorgan, Joan Marie Pandolfo Cortez, Janet Dankowitz, Victoria Ann Morell, Harriet Laufer, Erwin Cohen, Saul Siegel, Naomi Kirsch, Bio Calendar, Jacques Cohen, Ned Goldberg, Irene Berkowitz, Manny Arnowitz, Judy Silversmith, Kathy Cricky, Marvin Schneider, Joan Lifshitz, Elaine May, Alan Mandel, June Friedman, Harvey Crevoy, Dr. Luis Fernando Salguero, Ellen Block, Bonnie Bezoza, Amitai Ben Tzvi, Doris Present, Marvin File, Howard Eisenstadt, Ed Vincent, Rita Weinberg Clark, Joni Rosenfeld, George Landberg, Jack Ehrlich, Richard Golick, Ruth Penn, Joyce Kantrowitz, Joanne Pessin, Carolyn Sukoff-Cerulli, Harvey Barkin, Amy Juskowitz Spoonseller, Joseph Schenken. Included on our yard site list are Lillian Baer, Fred Baer's mother, Mildred Feinberg, Barbara Wasserman's mother, Charles Gallen, Laurie Silverman's father, Sam Handwerker, remembered by Susan Handwerker, Fred Haslanger, Catherine Haslanger's father, Jack Kerner, Tamara Kerner's father-in-law, Miriam Meyer, Sarah West's mother, Miriam Schwergold, Tamara Kerner's mother, Herman Zarrow, Alan Zarrow's father. And I also want to mention longtime members Rosalind Kirschenbaum and Miriam Paul. Frima?
My friend Minnie Levine passed away a few days ago. My friend Maureen, and Mary Ellen, and Heather. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else on Zoom? If you're here in person and have names to add, I invite you to rise or raise your hand. We include also all of those who were murdered on October 7th and who have been subsequently killed in the war between Israel and Gaza, or Israel and Hamas. We include those who have died in other wars and conflicts around the world, as well as those who have died from other causes, whether in famine or terror or disaster, or alone and homeless on the streets of our cities. The Mourner's Kaddish is on page 598. I invite you, if you're able, to rise and join in. We include also Edith Gonzalez, or to participate according to your own custom. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach yiruteh v'yamlich malchuteh, b'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'bizman kariv v'yamru Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mivarach le'olam u'lalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yithalev v'yithalal shemei dekudesha barichu. La'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata. Damiran Belma Vimru. Amen. Yehe Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya. V'chaim Aleinu Ve'el Kol Yisrael Vimru. Amen. Ose Shalom Bimromav. Hu Ya'aseh Shalom. Aleinu Ve'el Kol Yisrael Vimru. Amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to the bereaved here among us and wherever they may be. And let us say,
Amen.
Amen. You may be seated.
Ose Shalom Bimromav. Oyase Shalom Aleinu. Ve'al Kol Yisrael V'yimru Amen. Ve'yase Shalom, Yase Shalom, Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael. Yase Shalom, Yase Shalom, Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael.
A few announcements before we conclude. Tomorrow morning, we will have Biyachad at 10 o'clock in the morning. And then for services, we will also have confirmation. We have 6 confirmands this year. They're all going to speak. They're a delightful bunch of young humans. And so if you can come to support them, please, please do. It's going to be a wonderful, wonderful service. They're also going to help lead the service. They're 2 years older than they were at their Britot Mitzvah, and that 2 years makes a huge difference. Also tomorrow from 7 to 10 p.m. is our Tikkun Leil Shavuot, a little bit belated. We are going to study for the sake of heaven. We'll have 2 sessions from 7:15 to 8:30 and 8:45 to 10. Come to as much or as little as you choose. There will be traditional dairy refreshments for those who are there in person. For those who prefer to attend on Zoom, it will also be on Zoom. Our annual meeting, our congregational annual meeting is at 7 p.m. on Monday, June 17th. It is on Zoom only. If you're a member, please come and help to make a quorum. It's an important meeting, and you can find out what's been going on all year. On Thursday at 1 p.m., we do have Torah study on Zoom with me. Tat Shabbat is at 10 a.m. on Friday. Our congregational picnic is coming up next weekend, the 23rd. That promises to be great fun. It is going to be at Fort Tilden Recreation Area in Breezy Point. You do need a parking permit. When you sign up, you can get the parking permit. There's also paper ones here if you want to grab one if you're here in person. There will be food that Temple will provide. There is a cost that will cover the food. There's going to be games. I'm bringing bocce ball. So it should be fun. So if you can come, please come. And then Sunday, August 11th, is Brooklyn Cyclones with the Beshert Brotherhood, but that's for everybody to go. And there's already a ton of people going, right, Alan? 61. But we still have tickets. They're $20 each or $10 for kids under 13. You can make your checks payable to Jean Guskin. No, to Brotherhood of Beshert, but send them to Jean Guskin. Or you can go online to beshert.org/cyclones. Thank you very much to Janice Isa and Michael Rose for doing the blessings. The tzedakah box is on your way out of the sanctuary and across. Ann Schwartz says she has gotten an email saying the meeting is Tuesday at 7:15. No, that is all wrong. It is on Monday at 7. So I'll have to go and look in the emails and make sure that and see what that was, because it is on Monday at 7.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Tuesday at 7:15 is Women of Beshert, says Charlotte. Women of Bashert, that's a separate event.
Yeah, thank you very
So-
much. Thank you.
I'm glad we had the opportunity to clarify that. Anything else? Okay, if you're able, I invite you to rise.
Hashem Allah, b'terem kol yitzir nivra, v'yitanasa
Page 632.
v'echol, azay melech shemo nikra, v'yacharei kichlot hakol, levado yimloch nora, v'hu haya v'hu hoveh, והוא יהיה בתפארה, והוא אחד ואין שני, להמשיל לו להכבירה, בלי ראשית בלי תכלית, ולא העוז והמשרה, והוא אלי וחי גואלי, וצוחב לי בעת צרה, והוא ניסי ומנוס לי, בנת חוסי ביום אקרא, בידו אפקיד רוחי, ויהי אישן ויהירה, ואם רוחי גוויעתי, אדוני לי ולא יירא. יברכך אדוני וישמרך. יאר אדוני פניו אליך ויחונך. יישא אדוני פניו אליך וישם לך Shalom. May God bless you and keep you. May God's face shine on you and be gracious to you. May God lift God's face toward you and give you peace. Amen. And before we go across to the Oneg, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom, everybody.
Shabbat